Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I welcome you all for the class 9 biology on the next part of the video on the chapter of tissues. So we are looking on the part 8 video where we see about the NCERT solutions. Come on, let's continue. So in the last video we have seen about the book back exercises. Half of the exercises we have finished. So in this video we'll see about the remaining questions with solutions. So question number 8. Differentiate between striated, unstriated and cardiac muscle on the basis of their structure and site or location in the body. Okay, so here we are going to put 3 tabular columns like striated muscle, unstriated muscle and cardiac muscle. So first, on the basis of structure, we are going to see 2 points, and then on the basis of location, we'll see 1 point. So the first point, the very important point is the structure. The cells of the striated muscle are cylindrical, unbranched and multinucleated with blunt ends. For unstriated muscle, the cells are long, unbranched and uninucleated with tapering ends, that is spindle shaped. So here uninucleated refers to one nucleus, multinucleated refers to many nucleus. So the first point for the cardiac muscle is the cells are cylindrical, branched and they are uninucleated with flat and wavy ends. So that's what about the structure. The second point is that they possess alternate light and dark bands with the striations. So the striated muscle are named after the striations. So alternate light and dark bands are present. Whereas in unstriated muscle, you cannot see any striations. So no striations or bands are found within the unstriated muscle, and so they are called as the smooth muscle. In case of cardiac muscle, there are faint bands, you can see them with slight striations. So on the basis of location, we will see the following points. So the first point in the striated muscle is they are found in the hands, legs, tongue, and such muscles are called as voluntary muscles because they are voluntary in action. For unstriated muscle, they control the movement on the basis of the movement in a slow movement. So this is involved in the movement of food in the alimentary canal and contraction and relaxation of the blood vessels. So wherever slow movement in the internal organs are done by the unstriated muscle. The third one is the cardiac muscle. What is the main role of a cardiac muscle? They are seen only in the heart. So they control the contraction and relaxation of the heart. So next we look about the question number 9. Question number 9. Draw a labeled diagram of a neuron. What is a neuron? Neuron is also called as a nerve cell, which is the unit of the nervous system or the nervous tissue. Okay, so the answer, you have to see the structure diagram. There are some, you can see the many branches seen within the cell body. So you know that there are 3 parts in a nerve cell. That is, the first is the cell body, the axon, and then the dendrons and the dendrites. So the dendrons are the one which are coming from the branches from the cell body. So the dendrons will further divide into smaller branches called as the dendrites. So here you have to mark the cell body, nucleus, dendrites and even the dendrons and axon and the nerve ending. So this picture should be very clear for all. So practice on this picture. question number 10. Name the following. So the first one, the tissue that forms the inner lining of our mouth. So which type of tissue forms the inner lining of our mouth? It is the simple squamous epithelium, whereas stratified squamous epithelium is for skin. So next one, the tissue that connects the muscle to bone. So remember this muscle to bone, it is done by the skeletal tissue called the tendon. The tissue that transports food in plants, it is the phloem. So what is the tissue that transports water in plants? Yes, find out. So the tissue that stores fat in our body. So it is nothing but the adipose tissue. The connective tissue with the fluid matrix. What is that? So we know that it is the blood. The blood connective tissue is with the fluid matrix. So what is the tissue that is present in the brain? So it is the nervous tissue. So these questions are very important from the exam point of view. So I want all of you students to get very clear with those answers. So question number 11. Identify the type of tissue in the following. Skin, bark of a tree, bone, lining of kidney tubule, vascular bundle. So the answer, the skin, it is the stratified squamous epithelium. Bark of a tree, it is the cork tissue. And bone. So bone is made up of the skeletal connective tissue with a hard matrix. Lining of kidney tubule. So it is made up of cuboidal epithelium. Vascular bundle. What is vascular bundle? So xylem along with the phloem is called as the vascular bundle. So both are the complex permanent tissue of the plants. So next we'll go on to the next question. Question number 12. Name the regions in which the parenchymatous tissue is present. So the answer. So parenchyma, wherever we can see the soft portion of the plants, it is filled with such tissues. So we will enter into the answer. Parenchyma is present in the cortex and the pith of the stem and the roots. So the pith refers to soft portion. It is also present in the mesophyll of the leaves. And when it contains chlorophyll, it is called as chlorenchyma. We already have seen. So if it is having air, it is called as arenchyma. If it is going to have chlorophyll, it is called as chlorenchyma. Question number 13. What is the role of epidermis in plants? Epidermis is a layer of tissue present in the outer surface of the plant body. So outer layer of a plant body is seen entirely with a layer of cells, and that is called as epidermis. They are very, very protective in function. So the other role, the main important role is it protects the plants against any mechanical injury or from the invasion of pathogens. So the second one, it allows the exchange of gases through the stomata, which is present in between the epidermal cells. Question number 14. How does the cork act as a protective tissue? So these are the permanent tissues. So what is a cork cell or cork tissue? It is actually a permanent tissue. It is a simple permanent tissue. So the answer, how does the cork is going to act as a protective tissue? The answer. The outer layer, protective layer, or the bark. So the bark of the tree is nothing but the cork. There are dead cells covered by a chemical substance called suberin. So these cork cells are very thick or very strong in nature because of the presence of this chemical substance called the suberin. This makes it to be very protective against the plant's mechanical injury, temperature extremes, etc. So you'd have seen the bark is very thick in nature. That is because of the presence of the cork cells, which is covered with suberin. So what is the function, main function? It prevents the excess loss of water through transpiration. So by this process, it will prevent most of the water to be getting expelled from the plant body. Question number 15. So you can see a table with blanks. So we have going to fill up the blanks here. So what is the question? The permanent tissue is classified into two, the simple and complex. The simple tissues are further classified into three. What are they? What is the answer? See, the answer is parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. And how the complex is divided? Xylem, phloem. So yes, children, I think you are all very clear with the book back exercises. So thank you so much.